Sisterhood Check-in. I am your author and coach, Nadira Lewis, and it is Friday. Woo! I am excited, you guys, because first of all, it's given 2025. I'm excited because though this is a new year, this is a new everything for me. New hairstyle, new business adventures, new relationship with God and all things God and what he's doing in my life. Fortunately, it's not a new relationship yet, but that's coming. But I also have got new everything but relationship. But that's coming soon in God's time, in Jesus' name. But I'm excited because tonight we are going to talk about an amazing topic today about walking in transformation. And I'm excited because every time you think about transformation, it means something different to different people, depending on what they got going on in their life. And we're going to get into it today with my special guest today, Carolyn January Denson. Y'all, she's going to be so excited because let me tell you something. I done messed her name up. You know how many people names I done messed up on Sisterhood Check-in. I done called people by names that they mama ain't even give them. So y'all forgive me. Pray for your sister. Try to my head and not my heart if I get y'all name mixed up. Listen, I'm going to play this video real quick. But before I play this video, if you are watching me on YouTube, stop playing, click subscribe, hit the notification button. And so that way you could be notified every time I upload a new video. Like we gonna have all new videos this year. So I know last year, we had a lot of different videos and I was replaying a lot of videos, but this year, 2025, is all new videos. So make sure you call up your girlfriends and tell them Sisterhood Check-in is on the air. And I will be right back after this. Yes, come on with it. Love is, y'all. Some of us need to be reminded what love is, because some of us have endured some stuff and made us evil. And so God had to come in and had to, sometimes we got to be reminded what the fruit of the spirits is when you walking with the Lord. So welcome back here to Sisterhood Check-in with my amazing special guest. Would you guys help me welcome to the Sisterhood Check-in podcast for the very first time, my double Dutch 40 plus sister, Miss Carolyn January Denson. Woo!
Yay!
Welcome to Sisterhood Check-in. It is an honor to have you here. How are you?
Oh my God, I am so amazing. I am so grateful that you have invited me onto that. That was such a powerful video. It was powerful, and it is so in line with what we're going to be speaking about tonight. So that was, I know, I'm like she always talk about how we are aligning all the time, and it was right there
Yes.
because it is such a powerful message. And you are right, love is. And we need to
Yes.
talk about that. Like, love
Yes.
for many people means so many different things. But what does it
Yes.
mean to you? And what does it mean to
Yes.
you? You know, but
Yes.
at the end of the day, we all want it, right? And
Mm-hmm.
we want it to
Mm-hmm.
be authentic and
Yes. Yes.
unconditional.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So
I love that. I love Carolyn. I just want to say, I just love your energy, girl. I mean, every time I'm around you, we just like two bubbly busted up. Like we about like two balloons just about to bust. And I can't tell you how breathtaking and refreshing it is to be around somebody who is alive in their spirit. You know what I'm saying?
I
They
feel
are
the same
alive.
way.
Like you're not around them and you're having to scoop them and dig them out of a grave. And there are some people that are going to be in your life that they may need a little help being dug out the grave. But man, sometimes my arm is tired. Sometimes I just want to just sometimes I just want to,
You
just
want to
want
be
to
lifted and breathe
yes. Sometimes
and
you
have
just
that
want
reciprocal power,
that
right?
reciprocated energy, like, because I'm the type of
Yeah.
person, I'm like extreme. You either really like me or you really can't stand me, like literally. And it's like really for the same reason. It's really all, you either really like me because of my energy or you really can't stand me because of my
That
energy.
part.
And but it's like, but I have always been this way, even as a kid. I've always been very uplifting, very
Me too.
bubbly, smiling. It's only when people get on my that last nerve and you just want to just like, is when my you know when it's those few people that sometimes you just be wanting to just but
Oh, see,
you
you're
know
so much better than I am in that area. Because
you like,
it's like you will know where I'm at. Like I can't even hide it well. Like you gonna know.
oh gosh, that seems so weird because you always smile and it's like, oh my god, is her smile a
I
knife or is
am.
it
I am. That's why I'm like, if I'm not doing that, you know you must have rubbed me the wrong way. And it doesn't,
mm,
it takes something to rub me the wrong way.
oh my
Like,
god. So
you
y'all
know what
hear
I'm
that?
saying?
If y'all know her, don't get on her bad side. So when you see she ain't smiling and full of life, that means she got some fire up under that smile. And them sometimes, let me tell you something. The most dangerous people. Let me tell you something. I appreciate people that are authentic, whether they're in their aggression or whether
Yeah.
they're in their kindness. I appreciate. It's the people that don't that are quiet is the ones you got to be worried about because you don't know if they
Mm-hmm.
really feel a certain way up or down because it just seems like they like a quiet storm. Like they're a
But
quiet
here's the
storm.
thing. That's why you have to have discernment. That's why
Discernment.
you
Yes.
that's why you gotta let your spirit be guiding you. You always gotta be in your P's
Yes.
and Q's because of the people that are around you. And you
Yeah.
just never know. Cause it is those ones that's like kind of in the cut. And it's like,
Yeah.
I
They're like a
watch you.
sharpening knife. You don't know.
Yeah.
You don't know when
I
they coming. They come in the cut, but
exactly.
it's like a sharpening knife. But I'm just really grateful that you have accepted my invitation. I'm so glad that you're excited. I cannot wait to get
I'm
into our
super
topic today.
excited.
Yes. So if you
I'm
guys are
overly
watching,
excited.
oh snap, oh snap, oh snap, oh snap.
I was like, oh, I can't wait. I'm like, oh, what
I
you
was
talking
like,
about?
I
Like,
saw I saw you in the group, right? In the group text. I was like, okay, okay, I'm gonna remind her, see if she need a little help. It's 9:55. Let me see if she. I was like,
it,
Carolyn probably done just got off work. She probably be like, okay, Dennis, I'm over here. Here's your dinner, Dennis. Here's oh, let me get over here and
I
jump
was
and
on
put
my
them clothes
live.
in the.
I had to jump off my live. I didn't have enough time. I rushed through it. I was just like, I'm
Oh
sorry, y'all.
yeah,
I'll be
you
here
did
tomorrow.
say you were on a. You know what I
Because I
told you.
normally do it at 10 o'clock. And I was like, y'all,
Oh
I had to change my schedule around because I was like, we've been talking about this. And I was like, you know what?
yeah, you could have did this on
I want to
TikTok
make
Live too,
adjustments.
right? You could have incorporated this Friday into your live. Like normally what I do is sometimes I go live on TikTok. I go live on all the platforms, which
So
is the great
I'm not
thing
as
about.
versed as you.
Oh,
I'm like, I'm still a newbie. I'm
okay.
swimming in uncharted territories. But I'm
Oh,
super
okay.
excited about it, and I'm
Yes.
open
Well,
to it. And it's 2025. Things gotta
yes.
change. It
Yes.
really is about us being who God called us to be,
Yes. And in order to
doing
do
what He
that,
called
you
us to
got to
do.
know, right? But in order to be who God has called you to be, you have to know who you are, who He is, so that He can show
That
you how
part.
you fit into
You
His
gotta have
plan.
the
Because I think,
relationship.
yeah, because I think a lot of the times people pursue, it was one thing, and I've mentioned it to the people that watch Sisterhood Check-in several times, that God woke me up one time in the middle of the night. Like I felt like He was speaking through my soul, like to the point to where it just woke me up. And He said, focus on
Yeah.
purpose. Focus on purpose. And I kept thinking, like, okay, well, what does that look like? And so what He
Yeah.
started to show me over time was the Bible says, seek pursue righteousness, right? When you
Hmm.
pursue righteousness, then everything you need, all these things, Matthew 6:33, all these things that the Gentiles seek, right? Your heavenly Father already know you have need of it, right? But seek first, pursue the kingdom of God, right? In His way of doing things, right? And I had to recently really dig into, because a lot of the times you hear that talked about, but not a lot of believers know what the kingdom of God really is. And
Hmm.
I had asked a couple of people that I knew that had a relationship with God, and I said, I think sometimes we get kind of used to church as usual, and we don't really pay attention to the key components of what makes us a Christian. And I said, what is salvation? Do you know what salvation is? And do you know what the kingdom of God is? Because those are the things Jesus talked about, the kingdom of God. And a lot of believers really didn't, they've heard of it, had a very small understanding of it. But when I started to really study, the kingdom of God is Him ruling in your heart and in every and in the earth. So just think about it. When we pray, your kingdom come on earth as it is in heaven, that means we're giving Him the opportunity to rule in our hearts, right? And when He does that, He rules in the earth realm, right? Because if you got enough folks listening to Him and
Hmm.
obeying Him, then He's ruling in the earth. So He's ruling in our hearts and He's ruling in the earth, right? And so when I thought about that, I was like, so I think what happens is we go after our goals first, go after our goals, because the world say go after your goals, but actually
Hmm.
the believer is supposed to go after God. And then when
And
you go
He's
after
going to tell
Him,
you.
He adds all the things that
Hmm.
you need to fulfill His plan on earth for your life. So I want you to tell me, I want you to talk to me and tell me about Carolyn. How did Carolyn get to where she is, and how did she become the woman that you are today?
Oh, that's a loaded that is a loaded question. Because really it train a child as they want to go, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's really how it started. For me, I was raised in the church and I was raised as a mother.
Mm-hmm.
I literally became a mother to my niece at the age of
Oh,
8.
really?
Meaning my sister worked, several jobs. So
Mm-hmm.
it was my responsibility to go to school, come home, make sure
Mm-hmm.
she's fed, changed, bathed, and
Wow.
ready for when my sister come home to take her. So I this was my rearing. There was no
Mm-hmm.
childhood for me. There was no, enjoying life. It was literally me becoming mature and me becoming a mother, not to my own. But I think that prepared me in a way, like you said, to be who I am.
Mm-hmm.
I am a nurturer. I am a giver. I am truly God's child. And when you were talking about the kingdom, I think it went a little bit deeper. So yes, it's us seeking Him, but seeking to do His will, because it's not just we're seeking Him. We're supposed to bring others to Him
Mm-hmm.
through how we live,
Mm-hmm.
you know, how we walk. So what
Yes.
do they say? You gotta not just talk it, you gotta walk
You
the
gotta
talk,
walk in it. Hmm. Not
right?
just a hearer of the word, but a doer.
But the doer of the word,
Hmm.
exactly. And it's not easy. It's not
Yes.
easy. So I literally just became uh I became a mother.
Mm.
And within that, when I decided, hey, I'm going to try to let that go, I really became a mother. I was a teen mother. I
Oh,
got
wow.
pregnant. And here's the thing I want people to understand, it don't take multiple times.
Mm-hmm.
And I was on the birth control.
Mm.
Okay. For
Mm.
because I had they put me on birth control because I had really bad cramps, really
Mm.
bad bleeding, so that was one of the ways of controlling it at the time. But I became a mother at a young age.
Oh,
So look, I transitioned from being a child mother to being a mother to my own child.
wow.
And with
Wow.
that comes a stigma.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew that God loved me. I knew that He protected me. And I knew that this journey was for me. Why?
Mm.
I don't know. But I know, I believe that everything that we go through is for someone else. It really is not for us.
Mm-hmm.
The testimony is to help someone else come through. So,
Mm.
in the
Yeah.
midst of that journey of me being a teen mother, also a single mother, after that relationship, broken relationship, because I had a broken home life, because I didn't
Mm.
have a father, or shall I
Yeah.
say, I was abandoned by my father. So then I
Mm.
suffered from abandonment issues and trust issues. So how I became who I am is the going through, but
Mm.
having that open heart and not having a hardened heart,
Mm.
because God loved me through all of my mess, or all of my trials, to become the woman that I am today. To have an amazing husband now that I just recently
Hey,
married.
Dennis.
He can't hear me. You're in my ear. And not only that, when I really decided to make a choice, because after that issue for me, that childhood issue, and then becoming a teen mother, now is how do I survive and how do I take care of my kids?
Mm.
So now I'm finding a way through. I always say, and this is why I want to have a teen center, or
Mm.
a center for women,
Mm-hmm.
because we start looking for love in all the wrong places.
Mm-hmm. I
It
agree.
is our Father's responsibility to
Mm-hmm.
validate us, and then to help us grow into a woman and know what and what not to accept. But when you don't have that, you begin to seek what you're absent of. Does that
Mm-hmm.
make sense?
It
So
does. It does.
it it was the it was my faith. I really believe that's what it is. It was the love of God. I knew that He loved me, and I knew that He was my father, no matter
Mm.
what I was going through. And I never accepted really the narrative of what people thought of me, even my
Mm.
own mother.
Mm.
So it's just I became who I am because God helped me. I think that really, it was a mouthful, but that's how I became who I am, is because God never left me. And I, even though may have turned my back, I always turn back to Him.
Mm. Yeah. Let me ask you this question, because I too, I can bear witness with a lot of what you said, of being able to always knowing that God's hand was on me throughout my life. I can
Yeah.
see the times that I clearly walked. I don't know where I was walking half the times. I was just like always there, guiding
Yeah.
me and help leading me back to Him, right? Pulling and tugging on my heart.
Yeah.
And but there are sometimes, because I tell a lot of people, I didn't come to the Lord because I had this tragic, I had some tragic times, but I was happy living the life that I was in disobedience. I was pretty content, you know. And it was a pivotal moment. I remember I was in Jacksonville, Florida, and I was dancing on the, because I'm a dancer. I was dancing on the floor, and I was on the floor and with the Spanish guy, and I'm dancing and getting down. and I just hear the Lord, bam. I already knew drawing up to that point, I could feel him wooing me, like pulling me. I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't describe it. I didn't know it at the time because I wasn't connected to a particular ministry or anything. I didn't
Yeah.
understand the witness of the Holy Spirit. I didn't know. I didn't have a conversion inside of the church. My conversion happened in the living room, right?
Yeah.
I had been out of church since I was 16. So I knew that God was wooing me and I could feel it. I didn't have words to describe it. And I didn't have anybody to disciple me to say,
Mm-hmm.
okay, this is what's taking place. So the Holy Spirit was leading and guiding me right into all truth. And then one day I'm there at the club and I hear him say loud, it was almost like it was a loud, boisterous voice. It's time.
Mm.
And I heard it over all the noise, right? I heard it over all the noise in the in Jazz Cult, which was the name of the club. And I stopped in the middle of dancing and I turned around like, and I asked the person, did you hear that? And he was like, hear what? He just dancing because he drunk. He like, yeah, come on. And I'm like, no, like seriously, I'm like, stop playing. Like for real, did you just hear that? And I told the
Mm-hmm.
girls that I came with, I was like, yeah, I think it's time for me to go home. And it's like, well, we just got here. Like, what you like? What? We just got here.
Yeah.
But I had
Yeah.
rolled with them, and I was like, it's time for me to go home. And I went home, and that began my journey of relationship as I know it,
Wow.
right? With God.
Mm-hmm.
And I did encounter a lot of things that caused me to draw closer to Him. So my question to you is, what events in your life that caused you, and I know you said you've always turned back to him, but was there ever a point in your life where you felt like, I don't know what in the world's going on in my life, everything is going left? God, where are you? What brought you to that point to say, I know that God is with me even through this?
Mm. That's a great question because I didn't have that experience that you had in the club and hearing a loud voice and then knowing that it was time. Literally, it has been since I was a little girl.
Mm,
I think that was the one thing that my mother did that I can never repay her for. Is no
mm,
matter what, whether she went to church or not, she had me on that church bus. I was in that
mm,
church. I was in the
mm,
choir, and that probably
mm,
being in the choir as a kid probably is what ministered into my spirit, into my soul, and connected me to God because I started so young. But it
mm,
was, I always knew. It was never just a one thing for me. And I did have some tragic moments.
mhm.
Um, where I question, man, Nadira, mm,
This is the
I,
check-in.
it's,
Look, let me tell you something. I want you to be as real and as raw as you feel comfortable because this is how I look at it. One of the reasons why I've done this broadcast, I've been
mm,
doing it for 5 years now, is because my goal is to be able to use this platform to reach other women that have
and
gone
that's set
through
them free. Hmm.
to
Yeah,
help
that's,
them.
yeah, and that's what it is. I'm not comfortable, but I am
Okay.
obedient.
Okay.
Um, but your question was, what was it that really drew me? It really was no one thing.
Mm-hmm.
I always turn back because he's always been my source. I've always
Mm-hmm.
felt alone. I've always felt different. Um, and I never felt loved by my parents, but I
Mm.
always felt loved by God.
Oh wow.
Like like reading his word, even not understanding it, right?
Really?
And
Wow.
and I really think it was the hymns and the songs and that really just kind of saved me. But I will say there was not one thing. But I was molested as a child.
Mm-hmm.
Um, And that made me question, God, how could you let this happen to me? Like you wasn't watching over me, and I didn't feel protected. And I didn't understand.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't understand, and ooh, okay. But it wasn't that.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that.
Ooh, okay.
It was no one thing, because I've been through a lot of things.
Yeah. And it doesn't necessarily mean, and that question was not necessarily to address one thing. It's just that sometimes in our lives, in our walk journey
Mm,
with God, there are some things that happen in our life that, like you said, make you question, like, God, why did you allow this to happen? And even though, because I can relate to so much of what you said, I've always, even like I said, as a child, I always knew there was something that had me set apart. I just didn't have words to put
yeah,
to, or like you said, understanding to put to a lot of the stuff that went on in my life. I just know that when I look back, I heard Bishop Bronner say this, and this thing blessed me. He said this, I think 2 years ago, and it's still embedded in my head. He said, life is best lived forward, but best understood backwards. And
yeah.
I
That's good.
think and I think what happens is when you're in the moment and you're going through your journey, you don't really understand, or can sometimes when you're young, even put words to the spiritual attacks that you go through that cause physical manifestation in so many different areas in your relationships, with whether it's with the male and female relationship, or whether it's with your parents or family members. You
Mm,
don't know until you start to lean into whatever it is that God is pulling you to, right? Which is he pulling you to him. Then you turn around and when you take a breath and you come out, you turn around and you think, oh wow, you were there with me the entire time. That's what that was. And so
mm-hmm.
it's good. It brings a sense of peace. And sometimes when I listen to people's story, you know, I was one of those moms that had to work all the time, right? I have four adult children and two younger children. And my oldest is 32. And I remember her having to do the things that you say. And I didn't really understand the impact. When I hear other people, not just you, when I hear other people that come on the show and that have gone through that, I didn't even realize the impact that brought on her,
Mm-hmm.
as she became a young woman, because I was always working. Her dad and I had divorced. He was, in jail for domestic violence. He was serving an 8-year prison sentence. And here I am trying to adapt to raising four kids on my own. So I was a mom at 17. So I was figuring out motherhood as I went. And what I realize is that now, when I look in hindsight, looking backwards, right? Now I see, when I hear stories like you and other people say what they experienced as a child, being that one to have to raise, because she had to do that. She had to make sure that her brothers ate, because I worked two jobs and went to school for skincare. I was really hustling, right? And when
Mm-hmm.
I hear your stories like that, I'm like, man, I didn't. It just really kind of makes me feel like, man, I didn't realize how much of an impact that it could have and has made on that life, because I don't think parents do understand. We just so in the process of getting things, we're trying to make things happen, that
Yeah.
sometimes we don't realize that we leave doors open, which is why I am the way I am now. After I started, over a period of time, started to realize that it was affecting him, because my daughter broke her ankle, in school. I couldn't hardly be
Mm-hmm.
there. My son, I went through so much stuff, and I had to realize, okay, I'm going to have to put some stuff to the side. And I can see God giving me grace in those moments where I felt like the Fred Flintstone, and having to go with my feet on the ground, like going,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
having to realize, like, okay, I'm going to have to trust God in this season. Because
Mm.
you have what, three children now, right? You have three?
I have four, and you just
Four.
you just gave me my aha moment.
What was it? Tell me, tell me, tell me.
My answer. because your question was, how did I know, or what
Mm,
was it that drew me to God and me knowing that He was always there? He
mhm,
took care of me the entire
mm,
time because I was a teen mom. I was 16 with
mhm,
a baby,
mhm, mhm.
um, fighting to finish school.
Mm,
Didn't finish school. All my credits was messed up. My mother not advocating for me. Ended up getting my GED,
mhm,
going to college, not wanting to do what my sister had did to me. So I
mhm.
didn't work a whole lot. I mean, I worked a lot, but my kids were able to come with me.
Oh,
And when I went
good.
and when I went to school, I took them to the daycare. So I would go to night school from what 6 to 10, and they would be in the daycare. So
Wow.
they were always, so God made a way where they're always with me, and I didn't put any additional hardship on
Mm,
my oldest daughter.
wow.
I think, and I didn't realize that until you were just making that statement. And I was
Mhm,
like, I didn't have abundance, but we had
mhm,
enough.
mhm,
And within
mhm.
that, I created um, things that we did every Saturday. We went to the movies.
Yeah.
We went to the dollar movie. So it was like a little traditional
Oh,
thing
I
that I
remember those
created
dollar
with them.
movies.
Yeah, yeah. Every Saturday. So I didn't have a lot of money, but I still was able to create a lot of memories. I never missed the
Mm,
game. I never missed a PCA meeting. Like I never missed anything. And I remember going into work at these jobs, because it's
mhm.
not like I just kept one job, like a lot of people,
Yeah.
and they're there for 20. That was never my story. But wherever I went, my children always became the priority. And I never wavered from that. I remember telling a
Wow.
supervisor, my daughter need me.
Mhm.
If you have to fire me, that's your problem because this is my
Mm,
priority.
wow.
And God kept me employed to take care of my kids. I was a single mother of four
Wow.
kids by
Wow.
myself, no family support. So it was just me and my kids. It's always been us, you
Mhm,
know,
mhm,
being each other's stronghold, helping one another.
mhm,
And that's the bond that I formed. And that's what it is. God kept me to be there
mm,
for my kids so that they didn't lack the love that I lacked. They didn't miss
mm,
out on the nurturing that I missed out on. And I was there. They could never say I wasn't there. They could never
mm.
say I put a career before them. I never wanted to make that a thing because
Wow.
that's what I've always seen, that the
Mhm,
career came
mhm,
first. But
mhm.
for me, my children came first. And God, I'm gonna
Wow.
trust you for the rest. So
That's
that
pretty
that is how I
powerful.
knew.
Yeah. That's powerful because I was exactly the opposite. I
Yeah.
had a mom that was more, she didn't, I didn't, we, had to go to school with, I tell you, as a kid, I had to have a conversation with my mother, like, okay, mom, I think, you had me looking like a clown, like literally a clown. Like we laugh about it now. I'm like, because I had matching patterns. I used to always be embarrassed to go to school because I ain't never met like the stuff that I had. I was just, if I show you a picture of me when I was in school, I always looked like the little
You
girl.
definitely got to. You definitely got to.
I always, and it's funny because when my classmates post a picture on Facebook or on
Hmm.
Instagram, I'd be like, oh God. Because I always remember, like, I never looked like the actual fifth grader or the sixth grader. When I was in middle school or high school, I always looked like the little girl. So
Uh-huh.
it was like, I couldn't wear, I was wearing beads up until eighth grade. I hated it because all the girls had their little side cuts. And I was annoyed because I'm over here
Yeah.
looking like a baby, right? But my mom was always that type. She was very nurturing, always the
Hmm.
one. She'll quit her job in a minute. She's worked one job in her life, and she quit that job when my brother broke his arm. She was like, I'm done with this. I'm going to be home. Where me, I was like, I don't want that, because I knew that with that came, which I say is a grace. There's a grace that comes when you can, I played a video last week on Sisterhood Check-in, and I was
Mm-hmm.
talking, it was from John Bevere, and he had said, it was a video that he said where, was illustrating, what happens when we're having to give an account for our gifts and talents. And one
Yeah.
of them was, he said that, she was called to be a mother. That was her calling, to be a mother. And her, through raising her children, she would have reached 3 million people, right? And he
Mm-hmm.
said she did that. Because she did that, he said, well done. He said, I didn't call you to be an evangelist. I didn't call you to be a prophet. I didn't call you to do all. I called you to be a mother. And I think for me as a young kid, I despised that life, because I knew that with that was sacrifices, that I think my brother's still pouting over now to this day. He older and grown man, you know,
Right.
and it's like, but it was just like, I was like, oh, I don't want that life. So it caused me to, it was like this internal drive where I was like, I'm gonna be that. And that, there was a part of me that disliked that, because it caused me to be one of those mothers, right? To have
Mm-hmm.
to, that's why I can understand when I see mothers out there and they working 2-3 jobs and they trying to be, especially if they're the only parent. I was that mom, and I'm
Yeah.
learning through the past, I want to say 10 years. When I got married to, after I was single for like 7 years after I got that divorce. When I got remarried, I married a husband that was, he kept me, what I'm saying? So I was able to take my youngest son, and he made sure everything was taken care of. I started my business from home, and I was able to homeschool him. And I saw what happens when you let God, what I'm saying? Because I always was the one that just hard headed, never want to wait on God, just want to just
Me
do it in
too.
my own timing. And I suffered a lot because of that, because of, I was always in that, I want to be like this, I don't want to go without. So I will work myself into to so much that I would be literally making choices and decisions out of haste, and not really like you waiting for God to move, because I wanted to be ahead. I just didn't want to go back. I didn't want to go back to that place. And
I get
so,
that.
yeah.
But that was profound though, because you're still tying your childhood experiences, so you don't
Mhm.
want to be that. So for me, it's the same thing. I
Yes.
my mother now, it was all about, I didn't grow up wanting anything
Yeah, I was
tangible.
like that too. I didn't care about stuff like that. Yeah.
So that did not move me. I wanted love. So I
Mm,
became, and it's funny that you said
wow.
you didn't want to be a mother. That's what my daughters tell me. You were born to be a mother.
Mm-hmm.
Clearly, because it started at 8 and it molded me into that
Mm,
person.
mm,
So that was the most important thing, is me being a mother, period.
mm.
Because everybody else that I knew were working 2 jobs, doing this and then the
Mm.
other, and then traveling.
Right.
And I wasn't able
Prioritize.
to do that, because I was
Wow.
like, I'm not taking away from my kids to try to do this, that, and the other. I was never one like clubbing, I was never one traveling. So now at 51, now is my time.
Mm-hmm.
Now is
Mm-hmm.
my time to travel. But
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I did envy everybody else's experiences. But if I could go back, I would not change it.
Yeah, yeah. I think it's important to what you said. That is like the key thing that I've learned as a lesson now. Starting raising those children and then having more children is like, and I was telling my daughter this yesterday. Now that I work from home, and I still homeschool my 2 younger girls that are 8 and
Mm,
11. I homeschooled them, and my daughter said, "Man, I would have loved to be homeschooled." I said, "Girl, child, that wasn't even in even girl, that
in the
wasn't even in the
cars.
thought process. That wasn't even in the cards." Even though that would have been ideal, I've always had to
Right.
work jobs that I was doing jobs at nighttime,
Hmm.
and you know because of the fact that I can be home in the daytime with them. I can help them
Yeah.
with their homework. But then what was happening was I was like, okay, I had these dreams, I had these goals and these visions because I wanted a way out. And I, at that time, didn't really understand that or sit still enough really to understand that God can take care of you. And what I started to realize when they started to grow and I started to see them go through things and experience things because I was raising them. I was raising my children. I was one of those parents. I wasn't just, just here, just stay here. I was raising my children. So I
Right.
spent pivotal moments teaching them things in hard times that we were going through, sitting down and having, moments, teachable moments and explaining things. And I got ridiculed for it.
Yes.
People would tell me,
Why?
you think your kids are better because I remember me and my first husband had our house built and we were living in the neighborhood and my daughter's really good girlfriend, her parents, they were military and my daughter and her daughter were very, very close. And I loved their relationship, but their parents were alcoholic. And so
Mm,
my kids didn't get to spend a night at a lot of different people's houses because even as a young mother, I knew when it came to stewardship, when it came to those children, I may have failed in a lot of in relationships. I might have failed in management and stewardship over finances.
yeah.
But baby, when it came to them children, people that know me know I didn't play about my kids. So I didn't allow them. It don't even have to be anything big. If I saw your lifestyle, I
Hmm.
just didn't want my kids because I never wanted to hear 10 years later that you molested or your husband or your brother or somebody molested because my sister-in-law had went through that, where she had an experience where she had gone through something really tragic, and it was
Yeah.
up under the nose of people that she knew. And so
And
that
that's
was
the
always
thing.
my concern. I was like, no. And because I too had been molested, and I didn't really, and I remember because when I shared it with my mom, I kind of shared it with her when she was mad at me. So she didn't really believe me, you know. And so, because I just was mad at her and I just wanted to throw it out. And I realized, like you said, it was like for me, I had the love for my mom. Like my mom is the most loving person. My mom just let me do what I wanted to do. There wasn't a whole lot of discipline. My mother let you do whatever I mean, I was a teenager going out the house, sneak out the window, tell my boyfriend, come around the window, because my mother had, she was in her own world. She had
Yeah.
her little friends coming over and they would do their little gatherings Thursday, Friday. My mother used to club Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, right? We knew
My
at a
mother
certain age.
was that same way. I was home. You know what? I used to be so afraid. I would have to call my grandmother and she would talk to me. I was 6 years old because my mother then was clubbing.
Wow.
So that's
Wow.
why I said that's how I know God was with me because he kept me. Like I
Mm-hmm.
raised myself.
Mm-hmm.
So he kept me, and I totally get that. I Because of my experiences, my kids could not spend the night at nobody's house ever.
Mm, yep.
Now
Yep.
their friends could come to my house,
Yep. Yep.
but
Yep.
my kids could not. They could not go to nobody's house, and my
Yeah.
daughters remind me of that all the time because they're like
Yes.
the boys were able to do stuff that we weren't able to do, and they did have a little more freedom because that's when my health became a challenge. We'll get into
Mm.
that later.
Yes. So we're going to take a
Yeah.
quick break because we're going to get into this transformation thing because you have really you have given even my audience and all of us a good amount of background on how you got to where you are. And I appreciate your vulnerability because that can be really difficult. Sometimes people are not always comfortable with. I was listening to before we started, I was listening to this podcast and it was on TBN. I hadn't watched TBN in like, oh gosh, so many years. But
Yeah.
this particular broadcast, it was a bunch of women, they had gotten together and it really nourished me hearing them
Okay.
talk about having women, how important it is for us in all of our experiences to make opportunities like this, right? I had
Mm-hmm.
Crystal Kelly on, CK, and we were going through experiences and how important it is for us to position ourselves for other people to see, especially young mothers, and say, hey, I'm a young mother, how do I deal with this? How do I go through this? And us being able to, and I love the way she said it, how discipling is not necessarily you beating them over the head with the scripture, but bringing them, she said, you bringing them into your home, right? And just letting them see you interact with your children, how you raise your children, letting them see how life experiences. And then when they read scripture, they're connecting the two. And so this is one of the reasons why this was huge for me. This platform is I wanted to bring our experiences, because I believe just like hurt people can hurt people, that transformed people can transform people too. And that's what he says by he causes all things to work together for our good. So even though it didn't look like it at the time, I want to talk about, when we come back from the break, I want to talk about some of your transformation, what where you are in your business, because now you're an entrepreneur, right? And you're out here, and I know we didn't get into your health, but I wanted you to talk about that, because I'm sure there's something that kind of got you to that point. Because you in shape, girl. You in shape. I be watching you on that skate ring. I be like, that.
I don't look what I've been through. I don't look like what I've been through.
Yes. So we're gonna take a quick break, and we're gonna come back. And I want you to get into that. I want to talk to you. I want to know more about what got you into your transformation, because you have a TikTok live that you did today. So for those of you that want to know, we're gonna get your TikTok. Send me your TikTok information in the chat, and then we'll have people follow you on TikTok. She has been mentoring and just sharing a lot of health stuff that's really been really informative. Really been I'm telling you that you hear stuff, but Carolyn has really, she's really passionate about educating you on the importance of why, not just don't do it, but this is why you don't do it. This is what it does. And you have a testimony to share of what happened in that transformation. So we're going to take a quick break. And when we come back, go get you some coffee and tea, call up your girlfriends and tell them Sisterhood Check-in on the air, y'all. Y'all need to come check it out. That's right. Also, don't leave. Make sure you watch these commercials so that you can be able to I have a lot of resources for you guys, and Carolyn also has resources for you also. So watch this commercial, and then we'll be right back after this.
Help me to trust him again with my heart and not be scared, looking over my shoulder when it comes to his actions because I felt betrayed by him. Help me to trust his good intentions towards me.
May not be physically with you.
They're in your church.
But I am sitting next to you.
Different face.
Different name. Same story, though, that goes like this.
I've done some terrible things in my life.
Some of them I chose to do.
And I own these choices.
But others, I just feel like I was swept up in a series of circumstances that didn't involve my will.
They just sort of happened to me.
I've become the culmination of those choices and circumstances.
So I guess I just need to say it.
I really need some help.
Hello, my name is Thomas Taylor III, CEO of TaylorYourDreams.com. I actually help individuals expand their vision past their current reality so they can live the life that they dreamed of. If that's you, you can reach out, you can hit me up, and actually have a free consultation. But until then, Go ahead and make it a great day.
Hi, I'm Nadira, author, life, and business coach, and founder of the Becoming a Woman of Proverbs Wisdom Academy, and also the founder of the Sisterhood Check-in podcast. I help women take their life experiences and turn them into life lessons for others. Book a call with me at www.womanofproverbscoaching.com, and I'll see you on the other side. Have an amazing day. You know, there's seasons in that our gifts operate and flow in. There's seasons. And if you miss your season or your moment, your gift may not be no longer useful. Because if he called a generation to ask a question or to need something in a specific season, and he birthed you for that season, you're useless if you don't operate in your season.
Listen, Nadirah, listen. You're doing it again. You're doing it again. That's what you're doing.
Oh, that was powerful.
And we are back. Thank you. I appreciate that. We are back here with Sisterhood Check-in, part 2, second half. If you are watching for the first time, make sure you go back and watch the video, because Carolyn has been really giving us some really good gems. If you are watching us on a replay, make sure you put #replay. Carolyn, so when we left the first half, we were talking about you and your experience, and I know you have a business adventure that you're doing, and I want to kind of get into this half talking about your actual transformation that you were talking about that you were going to. It's where you says youfeelgreat.com. Talk to us about your health and how you got to this point where you decided I want to help other people with their health also.
You know what? That is absolutely great that you're asking me that, because literally transformation came with God, right? I got to renew my mind so that I know to be open enough to do something about my health. Basically, I had arthritis. So I think that was the beginning trickle effect. And a lot of people don't know this. I really struggled walking for 5 years.
I didn't know that.
I know. Yeah, a lot of people didn't know that. Literally, they wanted me to walk with a cane. I wasn't even 40 yet. This literally started, I want to say I was 33 years old. And the doctors didn't really know. At first, they didn't know what it was, but it was degenerative arthritis. It's something that, nobody can do anything about. I had bone loss, and I was bone on bone with both of my hips. And because of my age, they didn't want to do anything about that. So I literally had to leave Atlanta, Georgia, and go back to Chicago, Illinois, to try to figure out a way to get these hip replacements. That was the beginning. And that was the calling on Jesus, because at that point, I didn't want to be here anymore, but I had young kids depending on me.
Yeah.
But a quality of life, if you don't have a quality of life, you don't want to be here. Pain will take you in that direction. Once that happened for me, I knew my goal was I always wanted to help people. Remember, for those who don't know from the beginning, I started becoming a mother at 8, and I be transformed into that. So I'm automatically a nurturer. I automatically want to help people. And then I know what God has done for me personally, and I want everybody to experience that. Everybody has a different journey. So this health thing, I was put on blood pressure medication when I got, when they told me I was pregnant with my last son, my youngest son, and he is 19 now. So 19 years ago. And I was ignorant and didn't know any better and just did whatever the doctor said. So I definitely want to educate people not to just do that. You got to do your research, and you got to know that there's other things that you can do, like exercise. Okay. Eat a little bit better, just different things at that time that I just wasn't aware of. And I just once you allow the doctor to put you on medication, it becomes a ripple effect for something else.
Yes.
So, how I got to my business part of it is I met my husband, and at the time we were just friends, and he was telling me about a natural product. Because let me tell you, I'm so glad that we are talking about this. Let me tell you my list of what I used to do. I did vitamin D, magnesium, melatonin, omega 3, probiotics. I did the ginkgo, the garlic. I would have ginseng, vitamin C, echinacea. I was doing all of these things, turmeric,
Mm,
to try and help me have a healthy
mm.
life, a healthy balance, because they
Yeah.
say these natural home remedies will work. Nothing was working for me. Yeah, it would
Mm,
help even conjoined drinks because of the lubrication that helps with lubrication for your hips and all of that
mhm.
when you're suffering with that. So I was doing everything that I possibly could, and nothing was working. Well, came across Dennis, and he was telling me about two food-based products, natural, uh, that can completely reverse because it's getting to the root cause of your issues. So
Mm,
if you're a diabetic, that doesn't have to be your narrative. Even people that are uh, having insulin, right? You
mhm,
can still reverse these things, but a lot of times the doctors have in our mind that once you're this is what it is,
mhm,
and we can manage it. But that is not the case. We have the ability to reverse it.
mhm.
You don't have to be a diabetic.
Right,
You don't
right.
have to stay in a pre-diabetic state. You don't have to have high cholesterol. You don't
Mhm.
have to have high blood pressure and all of
That's
these different things. Nerve issues, right? Neuropathy, right? Not being able
mhm,
to really walk. You don't have to have, there are things that you can do to reverse it. But what
mhm.
our issue is now is we're dealing with the food. And the food is what's
Mm.
causing us to be sick.
Yeah.
So I partner with a company called Unicity International, and now I am selling two food-based products
Mm,
that will completely transform your life. And all you need, Nadira, is water. That's it. It
mm,
can't get any simpler than that.
mm.
Not only that, it's a 90-day happiness guarantee. You don't see results. Where do you get this at? You don't see results in 90 days. You get your money back, your full refund.
Mm.
So I was like, let me take the charge. Because what I'm
Yeah,
going to do is prove you wrong. Because I
yeah.
tried everything. My gut health was bad. Let me tell you what I used to take
Yeah.
all the time. This is what they
Oh,
had me take
Metamucil.
every day. I had to use Benefiber every day. I was on
Wow.
Miralax, Ducalax, all of the syrups, but it didn't do anything for me. It don't get
Mm,
to the root cause. I have
mm.
PCOS, so I'm a light skinned girl out here dealing
Mhm.
with unwanted facial hair, all of
Oh,
these
yeah, I knew
different
that story.
challenges. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what the deal was, and no, the doctors don't tell you that because at the end of the day, they don't want to cut their bottom line, which is that money,
Mhm.
which is sad because they're here to help us, but yeah, help you manage.
Yep,
but that
yep.
but that doesn't have to be the narrative. And like you were talking about before we went to break, me skating,
Mhm.
I got both of my hips replaced. If I was in pain, inflammation, I wouldn't be able to skate the way that I'm skating. I got both of my hips replaced at the
You
same
had
time.
both, girl, and here I am. Oh, girl, that's encouraging to hear because I done injured my, not my hip, but I done injured my legs, and I done that trauma is still like in that leg. Sometimes when I'm going backwards, I feel like a stiff. I tell my son to record me so
Yeah,
I can see how stiff I look. You had two hip
too.
replacements.
Yeah.
Wow, you don't even look like it.
Uh, who we been talking about? Who been, who have
Wow.
I been telling you that keeps me, and you wonder why I keep running to them?
Wow. That is wow. Two hip replacements?
Yes,
Wow.
ma'am.
So let me ask you, what's in this particular product that you're using, what's in it that's natural, that is causing you to have this effect where you're feeling like you are? What are the main ingredients that are in it that's helping contribute?
So I will say, like, the tea is a yerba mate. It's a plant. Both of these are
Mhm.
plant-based products.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
leaves.
So
Plant.
are they meal replacements, or are they something that you just drink with your meal? Like,
You know
how do
what?
they work?
I am so glad that you asked me that question. So the best way for us, okay, every time we eat, what
Mhm.
do? We
We
spike
drink.
our insulin, right?
And we still, yeah, we spike, yeah.
Every time you eat, you spike your insulin. Every time. You eat
Mhm.
some nuts, you're like, oh, I'm just going to have a handful of nuts. That's healthy for
Mhm.
me. You're
Mhm.
spiking your insulin.
Mhm.
Every time you spike your insulin, your glucose, that is putting us at risk to have a health challenge.
Mhm.
So what we do is we push back from the table for 16 hours. So we do a 16-hour fast every day. And you're going to drink your tea instead of your coffee. I was a big coffee drinker.
Oh
Give me
Lord
my,
Jesus.
we talked about this. Nadir,
Girl,
I
I'm
told
a
you,
I'm a I'm a coffee drinker, girl. oh Jesus Lord. Okay, I'm
but
listening.
it's not even just that. It was like, it's not the coffee, it's the creamer. Because I'm like, give me my creamer with the coffee. So
Girl.
are we really coffee drinkers, or are we really just like coffee with the cream?
I like the coffee with the cream, and I like my coffee black.
Exactly.
It's gotta be black. I don't give me no breakfast blend. Don't give me no medium. But I do know, and I know that guy has been really dealing with me, because I've had, like, on Tuesdays for like almost a year. I had a health naturopath, really good friend of mine. We did health. We went over health, and I changed a lot of things naturally. But I have kind of like slipped back. Life stuff, different things cause you to kind of like that cookie. That cookie. I have went plant-based for a while, but yesterday my daughter said to me, she said, Mom, you're gonna have to get back on. You're gonna have to get. I was like, yeah, I know, because I'm seeing it. I see the results of me where I was
Hmm.
and where I am. So I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna have to make some adjustments, and get some things changed so that I can make sure that I'm not facing, because I'll be 51 next month.
Yeah.
And I definitely don't want to, because our family, there's a history, of challenges and health things, and even I got new blood running through my veins. I got new blood running through my veins. The blood Jesus. So
I totally get it, and I understand, and that's honestly, Nadira, that's everybody. We all deal with those challenges. But this is basically incorporating it in your life,
mm-hmm,
because we know there's going to be a time where we want a cookie. When we start restricting ourselves, where you can't have this, you can't have that, it becomes not sustainable.
mm-hmm,
So what
right,
I'm
right.
providing is a solution where it is sustainable. You're just incorporating this into your life. So if you want that cookie or your cake, you're going to have it with your meal. And a lot of times, if you pay attention, a lot of times we go out to dinner, you and I, right? We're going to have our meal and we're going to have a slice of cheesecake or whatever.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm,
It's going to be fine because we're protected. This literally allows, it coats your food.
mm,
So now we're tricking our body. We don't know what we're having. It's just going to take the
mm,
nutrients and you're going to eliminate the rest.
mm.
But basically, what you're doing is you're allowing your body to rest and repair during those 16 hours,
Yes.
because our body is naturally built to do that.
Yeah.
But we don't allow ourselves the time to do that. And your body can't burn fat and sugar at the same time. It's going to be one or the other.
Mm-hmm.
So if we say, I don't eat after 9 o'clock. I tried to do 8 o'clock. That wasn't feasible for me. And that's why I'm here to coach. And because a
Yes.
lot of times I was just getting home. So I'm like, oh my God, I
Yeah.
gotta hurry up. And it became so stressful. But I know that I'm gonna be home in time. Or if I'm not at home, I just don't eat.
Mm-hmm.
I don't eat. I that'd be my old man day. So
Yeah.
at 9 o'clock, I push away from the table. Typically 8 to noon is the hardest time. Because remember, we're getting ready for bed after 9 o'clock or whatever. We're getting
Right.
ready for our next day. So we
Right.
get up in the morning. What we're going to do is we're going to take our Unimate. We're going to sip on it. We're going to enjoy it.
Mm-hmm.
This suppresses your hunger and your cravings.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to allow your fast to be easy. This is going to extend it for an additional 2 to 4 hours.
Mm-hmm.
And then when you break your fast, you're going to add fiber to your life, because what did I tell you? Foods are no longer having the fiber and the nutrients.
Right.
It's
Right.
being processed, ultra processed, highly processed. It's being
Mm-hmm.
bioengineered, genetically
Mm-hmm.
modified. These are some of the things that we're dealing with now,
Mm-hmm.
where we weren't dealing with that before.
Right.
So now we need a tool, a resource. So you're going to
Mm-hmm.
take the fiber. This is going to help you be full longer. So guess what? You're not going to even want to overeat. And so you're probably not going to even want that cookie because you're full.
Mm-hmm.
You're satiated. You're okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then you're going to have that 8-hour eat window. And a lot of times, Nadira, the way our bodies is now, a lot of times we only eat once a day
Yeah.
because we're full and we're
Right. 'Cause
busy.
the snacking here and there, and snacking on things that,
And when you start, and you want a snack, I see you. Go ahead and take your other Unimate tea. So what you're doing is you're taking 2 Unimates and 1 balance per day.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how you're going to be able to transform your life.
Got
You're going
you.
to be
So
able to transform it.
it sounds like the products that you have are there to kind of assist you with
Hmm.
giving your body the nutrients you need while you're fasting, which is
Yeah.
important because you
Yes.
want to be able to have that support, because fasting is really what your body needs to reset itself, because
It
it is
is.
true. Our bodies are made. So I definitely agree with that. Our bodies are made to repair itself. That's why we're fearfully and wonderfully made. Like, our bodies
Exactly.
are meant to repair, but sometimes we interfere with that repair with the things that we consume, that are,
And not allowing our time, the
yeah,
time to repair.
yeah.
And that's the thing. A lot of us, before I got on the product, I fast quite often.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a lot of people say, well, I already fast. But guess
Mm-hmm.
what? This is so we have GLP-1 in our bodies already, right?
Mm-hmm.
This helps your GLP-1. You're gonna burn more.
Mm. Okay.
Not only that, you're going to uh, be able to feel. It's gonna give you energies. So a lot of times in fasting, you don't have any energy. You're just drinking water.
Yeah.
But this is going to provide you energy. And not only
Nutrient.
that, nutrients, right? Because you
Mm-hmm.
have this yerba mate, it's also going to help like your clarity, your brain fog,
Mm.
and
Mm.
your performance.
Yeah.
Whereas I know for me, when I'm fasting and I'm not eating, I get a little sluggish.
Yeah.
I'm a little tired. I'm a little
Yeah.
lethargic. I just want to get through it. Let me sleep.
Right. 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 I know exactly what you mean.
Yeah, but with our product, you do not need that. It's going to give you everything that you need. And I have yet to see it fail unless someone hasn't been consistent, Nadira. We have a
Wow.
93% retention rate. I
That's
tell
really good.
people, take me up on the charge. You cannot go wrong. Only thing you're going to do is lose numbers and pounds. And here's
Wow.
the thing, this is what is even more profound that we found out. For people
Hmm.
that can't gain weight, they're at an unhealthy weight.
Yeah.
They've been able to gain healthy weight because
Oh, wow.
the balance is exactly what it says. It's the balance. It's going to balance you out. It's going to do what your body needs it to do. Not Nadira body. Nadira body is not like Carolyn's body.
Right. Right.
Our body is
Apparently,
different.
you over here with this fine body after these two
You
hip
know what?
replacements.
Hush, girl. Hush. So I'm just like, it's a personal, kind of like a
Yeah.
personal relationship with Christ, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
We all have our own journey.
Mm-hmm.
We're all looking for God to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
It's the same with the product. We're all looking for something different. I don't have the same challenges as someone else. But what I do know is that it's going to work and it's going to get to the root cause of your challenge
Hmm.
because it's your body.
I like the
And
fact
that's,
that you said that
yeah,
that everybody's, because everybody's body is different, and
yeah,
there it's important if you're going to take a health product that it's able to go in and do something that your body needs, because you, like you said, your body may not need what my body needs, and
mm-hmm,
so when you have a product that can go in and actually look at your body's needs, deficiencies, and
that
be able
part.
to say, okay, these are the things, that deficiencies that need to be filled during this fast. Because fasting, when there's nothing going in, it's perfect time to see where you're deficient. So it's a perfect
Mm-hmm,
time to for that product to go in. If its job is to balance, is to go
mm-hmm.
in and see where the deficiency is. That's pretty cool. So let me ask you something. Like, for those of you that want to know exactly what Carolyn is doing, and she look, like I said, her body, she looks great. I mean, after having 2 hip replacements, she looks great, and she,
And 4 kids.
and 4 kids. She looks absolutely great. If you guys definitely are interested and wanting to know, make sure you go to the https forward slash colon forward slash youfeelgreat.com forward slash C. Yeah, all those numbers are on the screen.
Yeah.
Right. And follow her, because, and I'm gonna look, I want to take a look at this, because I know that a lot of people are going to be are wanting to know, probably like, well, what does it look like? So what I'm going to do
Mhm.
is I'm going to go ahead and pull this up on the screen and give
Okay.
others an opportunity to see exactly what it is that these products are. And you can kind of explain to us, for those that go to the website, like
Okay.
what exactly are we looking at and how we navigate if we decide we want to go through to your website. You can help us
Okay.
navigate through and tell us, what do we do first? So here's the website here. So, okay, so it's loading. Okay. Okay. So help me out. On the website, it has your name and it tells you 2 products, 1 practice. So walk us through the website.
Okay. So when you go to the website, the first thing you want to do is make sure that you're going under me because you're going to pay the same price I pay. And then I'm going to
Okay.
coach you. Okay. Now, if you want to know more about the product, instead of just going by now, you can scroll down. You're going to see some product information. And it's going to tell you, like, the fasting, our approach, why we do that, the practices behind it. You can even read the science behind it. We have in house scientists. This is how, so we manufacture this. This is not
Mm,
coming from China or any of that. We're doing this.
mm-hmm.
And not only that, Cleveland Clinic, which is the #1 heart hospital in North America, had did a study on our balance to show
Oh,
how it helps. So we have information. Like, if you're like, I'm not quite sure, let me, because I'm analytical. I like to know all the facts too.
mm-hmm,
Okay.
mm-hmm.
So if you want to read all the facts, you're more than welcome to do that. But if you want to just go ahead and place the order, that's where that buy now is. But as you see the Unimate, it tells you about the product. It tells you about the balance, like what it is. So it's not like you're going to a website and you're just clicking on the product.
Right, right.
You
Okay,
scroll down,
okay.
it tells you how to work it, and again, this is just your base. But what I
Right.
do is I customize it to your lifestyle. Because
Mm-hmm,
just like it's not one size fit all,
mm-hmm.
everybody'
Right,
life is not the same. Like you were
right.
just saying, you work nighttime so that you could be there with your kids during the day.
Mm-hmm.
Me, I work during the day while my kids were at school. You see, because they
Well, I
weren't
work in a day
homeschooled.
now. I work in a day now. Back then,
No,
when my
no,
other
no.
kids, yeah,
I'm talking about. That's what I was talking about back
yeah,
then. I was
yeah.
just saying
Oh,
how
yeah,
people's schedules
yeah. I got you.
differ. Yeah.
Right.
So there is plenty of information on here. You can even click on the plus signs, and then it'll break down even more. You see that?
I
So
see.
So it is a very, very informative website.
Mm-hmm. I love that it tells you. I love websites that being a website designer. I love it when
Hmm.
people make it to where it's user friendly
Yeah.
and give you and it's informative because nobody wants to just click on a website and just guess about okay, just buy. You want to be able to have information that will cause you to say, okay, now I see. I
Hmm.
love that you have experts that give their
Yeah.
opinion, but most importantly, I love the fact that you give on the website it gives the difference and what because each product, tells you exactly what it's for. And I think that's important in helping people understand that are struggling. Okay, this is how it's going to help me. It's going to help me improve my mood and boost energy, which is what a lot of people need in
Yeah.
Atlanta because you working and going through all that traffic and all that other stuff.
Exactly.
You need something that's going to heighten your mental clarity and suppress your appetite so that you can get the goal that you want. So I really like that. And having the experts and then having testimonials. I think this is really nice too, having testimonials of people
Yeah. Real
that have.
results.
So this company just basically has two products.
It's just two products. Remember, it's two food-based products
Wow.
coupled with time-based eating. Because remember, it's the eating also that got
Right.
us in this challenge. The food is
Hmm.
the issue and how many times we eat. And what has happened is the food industry, their goal is to what? Make us eat
Yeah.
because
Yeah.
that is going to
Especially
grow their
nowadays,
revenue.
they're not even because nowadays they're doing everything, especially the meats and stuff. They're doing it in science, they're in the labs now. So we need
That's what I was
something
saying. Exactly. And I tell
to
people be
cope.
careful what
Hmm.
you're purchasing because a lot of people are like, oh, I've even had people say, well, I'm a vegetarian. Well, guess what?
Hmm.
The nutrients are not in the soil anymore.
It's not.
Even organic don't look the same.
Yeah.
Nothing is the same anymore. The
Yeah.
fiber is not in the food. So you're going to be
Yeah.
still hungry. Yeah, you may eat, but what? A couple of
Hmm.
hours later, you looking like, okay, what can I eat?
Right.
Because it's designed that way. And then some of the food companies went over to the other side and now they've created medications. So they're statins.
Wow.
So they help us eat more. And then you come over to the other side so that they can manage your health issues.
Oh my gosh. That's crazy. I love
It
that
is.
you have different flavors. There's different flavors.
Yeah.
So you're not stuck with one type of flavor. I think that's really good because I think part of the problem sometimes with people wanting to change to they don't like the taste.
Yeah.
So it's good that I see you have different flavors, different tastes that so now is this like one flavor per box or is it there's several flavors? Because I noticed that there's a this is one
It's
is
per
ultimate.
box.
Okay,
It's per
got you.
it's per box. I think they are gonna work on like a multi-pack, but right now you can have the
Mhm,
lemon ginger or you can have the lemon. But here's
mhm.
the thing, you can have one of each because you get two boxes of the Unimate. So
Okay.
if you did want like the lemon ginger and the lemon, you can get that. If you did want the
Oh,
apple spice and the lemon ginger, and the apple spice right now is still a limited time. We did that during the
okay.
holidays, so I don't know how long that's going to be there. But our staple is lemon and lemon ginger.
Got you. Got you. I
And for
love
the
ginger.
fiber, me too. And for the fiber, we have the orange and the mixed berry. I love the mixed berry, but you once again, you have two flavors.
Mhm.
So
Got you. So
it,
the balance is what you consider the fiber is the fiber part.
that is correct.
Okay.
That is correct. That is what
Got you.
completely transformed my gut health because I did not use the bathroom regularly for
Mhm.
48 years. Even my
Oh, wow.
mother was taking me to the doctor to try and
Yeah.
get me help because I would go maybe once every 2 weeks.
Now, was
I,
that
I
causing a lot? Was that contributing to the bloating? Were you having like because you said your gut, this was helping you with your gut. Did you have issues with bloating and stuff like that?
yes. Are you saying prior to this or are you saying
Yes,
with this?
yes, yes, prior
Yes,
to.
I had a lot of bloating because I wasn't
Mm-hmm.
going to the restroom. I had a lot of discomfort.
Mm-hmm.
I also had ulcers, you
Oh,
know.
okay.
Yeah.
Got you.
I
Got you.
had I had to have a rectal repair because
Got you.
I had pockets. You know, it's not a
Wow.
healthy thing. It's toxic
Yeah.
to not be able to go to
Yeah.
the bathroom.
It is. It's actually life threatening because you're holding all those toxins. And I had got what is it? A colonoscopy
Colonoscopy. Hmm.
a couple of years ago, and like 2000, well, it was more than a couple, maybe 2019, I think it was. And I go regularly. I was like on a time clock, but I had
Yeah.
remember it was this one particular moment I had went 2 weeks and I was terrified. Like I was like, oh my God. And I was having stomach and I was like, I gotta go. And they were like, we're gonna do a colonoscopy. And they literally like, well, before I even got there, I was cleaned out before. By the time they give you all the stuff that cause you
Yeah.
to, I
Yeah.
was totally cleaned out. So by the time I got there, thank God that there was no polyps or anything that was there. But yeah, I had realized at that moment that I've got to change my diet because certain
Yeah.
foods, the way they're making things nowadays, it's just we're just not even getting food anymore. I don't know what we're getting
And
now.
this
You know,
was back in the 70s. This was back
yeah.
in the 70s for me. You know,
Oh
70s,
wow,
80s, 90s. So I'm not even talking about the current. I'm like, this was back in
wow,
the day, me dealing with that.
yeah,
So just imagine normalizing that. You said you
wow,
went 2 weeks and you were concerned. That was my norm. So I
oh
normalized this.
wow, wow.
So unhealthy. But I am so free now. So
Oh gosh. I'm telling you,
so
ain't nothing like a
happy.
good boo boo, girl. You get that boo boo out, and you be feeling like great, like because it's that cleaning out the
Exactly.
toxics. You know, it's
Yeah.
something about when you're able to naturally allow your body to function the way it
Yeah.
is. You feel it's just nothing like it. It's just like it's scary when you have to because I think sometimes we take it for granted. Our bodies are, the way they are, and then you have that one day your body don't function. You get terrified because you get so complacent with it being a certain way, and the minute it
Yeah.
starts to go left, it's like, oh, like my mom was like that. I remember my mom, they was talking to her about her health and stuff like that, and he was like, okay, you got to get serious. And she's like, I don't want nothing but salad, and she wanted salad for a good 2-3 days. After that, it was like, so I've had to basically with work with, I had a friend of mine who, like I said, who was into herbal naturopath, was showing me how to take the things that she like and change the ingredients. So instead of you
Yeah.
using, you being able to have, since you're gung-ho burnt on having fried
Hmm.
chicken, let's change that to maybe taking, maybe, you know, cauliflower, taking cauliflower and season it like chicken, or using oyster mushrooms. And I know she wasn't going to try no oyster mushrooms because she is a foodie. My mother liked to cook, but I would tell her try oyster mushrooms because oyster mushrooms are really good, to
Okay.
use and stuff like that. And but I'm not there, so I can't make it for her on a constant. But if I was there, I would
Hmm.
definitely do that.
Do
But
she have an air fryer?
she
That's
does.
definitely also a healthier way.
She does, but she doesn't. She no longer does the cooking now. My younger brother
Okay.
does,
Okay.
because she's had knee surgery, so she doesn't have the she doesn't have the capability of moving like she used to, so she can't. She can hurt herself if she tries to do anything on her own. So my brother just decided, okay, you know what? I'm going to do the cooking in the house. I'm gonna prepare all the meals. That way you won't get hurt or trip, because she's fell
Hmm.
several times. So
Oh,
just
yeah, we don't
doing
want
different
that.
things, because she doesn't have any stability in her legs like she should, because she doesn't want to move because she's
Oh,
used to.
we definitely gonna have to talk offline on this because
Yeah.
I think I have at least some things that maybe your
Mhm.
mother would be open to do that will help
Yeah,
her,
she
and her
loves.
age will be a
She is a
factor as well.
diabetic,
So,
and she is a diabetic. So
oh,
she
okay.
is, and so she hasn't
Is she
for
type
the
2 or
past
1?
type 2.
We
And
can
so
reverse
she
that.
she basically, they took her off of her insulin, I think a year ago. And
Okay.
because she's been able to I'm just trying to get her, now we're just working on her weight, just trying to, she's lost quite a bit of weight, but I think providing something that, that she will do. because she'll start out, yeah, I'll do it. And when you turn your back, it's hard because when you get used to eating a certain way for so many years, it's hard, especially when our parents get older, they set in their ways. They don't,
Exactly.
it's hard to change a habit that they've been used to doing all their lives. So
It is very hard. And not just for older people, I think for us in general.
I think so.
That's why I'm so in love with this
Hmm.
product,
Yeah.
because it's just something that I incorporated and it did everything on its own for me.
Wow.
It
So how
made
long did it
me
take? How long did you see? How long? You said it took 90 days for you to see results
no,
of.
no, 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 no. For my gut health, it took me 5 months. But what I'm
Okay,
saying is we have a 90-day challenge. What I'm
got
saying
you.
is you're gonna see change
Got you.
within that 90 days. I'm not saying it's going to reverse everything in 90 days because
Mm.
it took us more than 90 days to get into the
Yeah,
boat that we're in.
yeah,
But
that's
what I'm
true.
saying is when you begin to see the results, when you begin to feel the change in your body, when you begin
Yeah,
to be able to put on the dress that you wasn't able to put on, when you begin to be able to bend and move in ways that you weren't able to do, it's
yeah,
like oh, I've come up on something.
yeah, yeah. And when you eat,
When you when
when you eat better, you feel better. And when you take it, whether it's through supplements or through your product, when you start making the necessary change, it definitely. And
yeah,
I know when I went through that period of time of no sugar, absolutely no sugar, I felt amazing. And um I hadn't had sugar in my house for years. I recently bought sugar, and I haven't bought sugar because I usually use like the agave syrup. But
hmm
I had made, and I do like I bake and stuff like that. I like to cook and stuff like that. So I was baking something that I
hmm
needed to have sugar to do it. And I think that was like the biggest mistake because I didn't have sugar in my house for years. And that was like, oh, that tastes pretty good.
right,
It was like, I forgot what that tastes like. And so
exactly. And
I'm back on
next
that
thing you know,
journey
that's
of
how you
getting
got
rid of
it.
it. That's it. Don't take but a second. It take a lifetime to get unaddicted. But then once you have that one little bit of sugar, whether it's in sugar directly or sugar through different stuff, it's like it thing. It's like automatic. Like, oh, we remember what that tastes like. Ooh, that was good.
Exactly.
So
And
I'm
that's why
definitely
I said
saying,
when you're able to do something that is sustainable, that is not restrictive,
mm-hmm.
and begin to transform,
Yes,
that's it just opens you up in a whole different way. I
absolutely.
know for me because I did the whole restrictive. I'm not gonna have no sugar. I'm not gonna do this. I gave up cheese. I've done all of that. But
Mm-hmm.
at some point, like you said, something happened and then you got to hold on whatever that is.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're struggling again to get out of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm talking about sustainable transformation.
Yeah.
I think that's a word right there. Sustainable
Sustainable
transformation.
transformation. I love that.
Yeah.
So for all of you that that are looking to get this product, I think it's pretty simple. I like uncomplicated products that you ain't got to take
That
three, four,
part.
five things in the morning, three, four, five, six things in the evening. I like
You'll
simplicity. So
forget. Yeah.
yes, or it gets expensive. You start because
That
with all
part.
these different things, you're paying for all these different items. It can get rather costly. So,
I'm so
which
glad that
is
you brought that up, Nadira.
mhm.
I'm so glad that you brought that up because with our product, you can use your HSA or your FSA.
What? Y'all hear
This
that?
is this is health. This is about your health. This is us wanting to help you get
Oh, that's
better.
powerful. Really?
That is
Wow.
powerful. You can use your HSA or your FSA. It's $5 and some change a day. So
Wow.
basically, what you're paying is 159 a month. And not
Hmm.
only that, you're going to reduce your grocery bill
Yeah.
because you're not
Because
going to
you're
be
not.
eating and snacking like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
It has been proven. Prove me wrong. Take me up on the 90-day challenge.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's actually pretty good. So you guys heard it from Carolyn herself. Make sure I left the website up there for you guys to that are watching either on a replay or that are watching live. Make sure you go to a website and follow Carolyn on TikTok and IG. How often do you go live on TikTok and IG?
Monday through Friday, 10 p.m.
Oh, so you go every day. Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
then I'm trying to figure out the Saturday. I don't have a set time, but on Sundays is my rest day.
Awesome.
But trying to navigate Saturday. I was going to start doing Saturdays like at 8:15 in the morning because that'll give me time to before we have to leave to meet up for Double Dutch.
Right.
So it will be like and it'd be something that's out of the way, and I can.
Girl, how you gonna do that? You live all the way in Alpharetta. You gonna be talking fast.
No, it don't take a whole lot. So maybe I'll do it 8 to 9 because I leave at 9 o'clock. It only take me about 30 minutes to get there.
Oh, okay. I thought Alpharetta was about an hour away. Okay.
It only take about 35 minutes because it's on a Saturday. So it don't take me long to get there. Yeah.
No traffic, Atlanta traffic.
It's me really being on the live I try to be on there no longer than 45 minutes.
Cool. That's what I call dedication to education and helping people, not just only selling the product, but I think when you actually not only experience the results and you're dedicated, because most people don't realize the more consistent you are and people see that consistency, it's a motivation to them because there's all kinds of products out there that claim to do different things, but there's not enough consistent and persistent people to stay the course, to show people that, look, this can be done. It's working on me. Look at me. Like we said, when it came to discipling, taking people into your home and taking people into your lives and saying, hey, look, this is what it did to me. I think I'm just like overwhelmed now knowing that I didn't know you had 2 hip replacements. I'm like, dang, I need to get on my game. Like, I need to
yes,
wow,
ma'am.
That is amazing. Like,
and
I mean,
honestly,
there's another girl that's there that had one, she had a hip replacement, but I don't see her there that much. Coffee, dark skin with the dread. She had hip replacement too, and I'm like,
I didn't know that.
Skating with man, I'm like,
I know
wow,
a lot of people with knee replacements. Replacements is kind of common there. Yeah,
that is amazing. I'm telling y'all, it'd be people skating in their 70s, like,
yes,
but to me, that's what I love about it. Yes. Girl. That's what I love about it. I love the fact that there are older people our age and older. It's inspirational to me because they let me know. Like I told my son, I said, I get me some good sleep, honey, when I come home because it is a workout.
It is.
By the time you going around those laps and and Candace showed me the little thing on how to show the skating workout on the watch.
Okay,
you could tell
I gotta get my Apple Watch now. Y'all keep giving me. I'm gonna get it. I'm
girl, she said, they got the same workout.
Which one? Okay,
I got girl, mine is old. Let me tell you, I got mine,
and it's still on yours.
It's still on mine. I think I got the series. I think I got a series 1. Like honestly, I think it's 1 or 2. I got an old one because when I bought it,
that's exactly what I'm gonna do. I'm not gonna be spending all this money on a watch, but I'm gonna get one.
It's like the iPhone. The only thing it's like with the iPhones, there's only a couple of phones where there's. I think what happens when iOS makes when Apple makes the iOS updatable for all the phones, it makes it hard to go and use another phone because you're like, why would I do that if I could just update the iOS, except for, if there's some major change, like if you're a content creator like me, that need maybe that may use your phone as a camera or something like that, or you may use it for something for photos and you need that quality, go for what you know. But for me, I'm like, I don't even use my Apple Watch except for when I'm skating and I'm just, doing stuff when I'm working. So I don't really need that. I don't have to have I don't have to spend that kind of money. I don't really need to. I don't use it.
I agree.
But my iPhone, we do everything on the iPhone, right? Okay, this iPhone goes with me everywhere. But which is good and bad because you become addicted. But because of how social media is and all the work and everything I do, is on my phone. So I'll upgrade, but I don't upgrade like every year. It's not really necessary for me. I don't really use all those features. I don't really use all those features. But yeah, you can get an older Series 1, Series 2,
I'm gonna go look.
Yeah. Girl, I went to the pawn shop, and when I bought my very first, this is my second one. My first one, I bought from the pawn shop, and my second one, I bought
where to go.
Oh yeah, you and Alpharetta.
We already talked about this. Remember?
Yeah,
we already talked about this. Yeah,
you can go. You can go to or you can go to your
Memorial Drive. My sister used to live over there.
Yes, I don't even know where anything at over there. I don't even know. I used to live in Riverdale, so I know where all the stuff is. Riverdale is like it's like a box. It's like a corner. So I know where everything. I live in Smyrna now, so it's like there's one in Smyrna. There's actually, I bought my iMac from there. There's a pawn shop in Smyrna.
You're definitely gonna have to. You're gonna have to give me the information.
But I know it's in Smyrna, and it's like somewhere over there by Windy Hill, and it's a really nice. They have a lot of really good electronics and stuff like that. So you might be able to get something from there. They are really, it's a house, and when you go in the house from the outside, you're like, oh, okay. But when you go in, they're very professional. Their stuff is like, and it's pretty decent and it's pretty nice. So I bought my iMac from there, and it works. It's crazy because my iMac. This MacBook Air that I have, like I have all of Apple products. I have an iMac that I bought cash. I have a MacBook Air, and this MacBook Air, for what I paid for it, nowhere near what they cost. Nowhere near. But it works just fine. It works perfectly. I could do all of my, my work and everything on it. So yeah, it right here in Smyrna is pretty good. But it's good that that I can, that you can use your product, because I have Apple everything. I just never use everything that's on it. But what Candace showed me, you could do the skate workout thing. And girl, I was skating around. I think I had, by the time we got done skating, I had like 3,000 steps.
Okay. See, I definitely, I'm all in. Y'all done sold me.
I was like, okay now. She was like, oh, but you got to pause it when you sit down. I was like, oh, okay. Because I was like sitting down. But yeah, and it's not just skating. They got, if you walk on a trail workout, they got like all.
I used to have one. I don't know what happened to it. It got lost in transition of moving. So
it happens. Yeah. It happens.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Carolyn. I enjoyed you so much.
It's been
I cannot wait to. I'm telling you guys, I'm watching your transition, and I'm one person. I see visually, I see what God is doing in your life spiritually, and I see how it's just not that you're not just alive in your spirit, but you're taking care of your health, and it's amazing when you can do them both.
So important.
When your spirit is alive and you're renewing your mind in the Word of God daily, and you're taking care of your health. Most people don't understand that's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps your quality of life, because your quality of life, you can have all these other things, but your quality of life, it don't mean nothing if your body ain't, if you hurting and you in pain and you can't function because you have bad habits. So that's really encouraging to see and to hear all the things that you went through. I'm like, dang, like I gotta step.
Your health is your wealth,
It is your wealth.
You can have all the money, you can have all the time in the world. But if you don't have good health, I mean, how are you gonna enjoy that stuff?
How you gonna enjoy it? Absolutely. I totally agree. I did this reel. It was kind of funny, but I had did this reel, and it just came across me. I had to do a remix. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I was like, oh God, I need to go to bed. But it says, the man said, how do you, he said, it's hard for me to hear from a prophet that's 400 pounds. He said, because I want to know, when did you push away your plate to hear from God? And the lady said, baby back ribs. I said, oh, I cannot. So she's like, baby back. So I said to myself, it was funny and it was humorous. But in my mind, I'm thinking some stuff is really stuff. It's really practical. Like in order for us to fulfill what God has called us to do, you have to do what you can, you know what I'm saying, to reverse I'm about to even start trying to eat some raw vegetables. Pray for your sister, because
I got you. I'm praying.
I
Prayers up.
I love eating healthy. Like I love eating healthy, but I haven't really gotten into the raw stuff. But I'm looking at the benefits of the raw vegetables, and I'm like, okay, I could probably do some things raw, like broccoli, cauliflower, carrots. I can do some raw stuff, but I was listening to this podcast, and this doctor was on there, and they was talking about like what it does, the benefits, and I'm like, yeah, I'm about to really like make sure that I get back in, and I'm thankful for the people that God put around me to kind of encourage me to get back on track, because you do need that support, to be like, hey, girl, put that cookie down. Put that cookie down. Put them Belvitas down. Put them down. Put them down. My daughter be calling me, what you hate? What you don't put it down. Put it down. So I'm trying to transition from coffee. Pray for me. I've been eating more. Now I do like Lion's Mane coffee. I've been drinking a more healthier coffee, like the different coffees that have mushrooms.
Yeah,
so I've been
it's a popular one.
So I'm trying to transition out of that, so that I can just drink, healthy stuff. Because I don't know, just warm. Like I like to eat hot soups and drink tea and stuff like that.
Me too.
It's just warm. It's like a blanket for me. It's like it's warm for me. Like I could do it in the summertime. I can have. I'm the one that'll go eat hot soup in 80-degree weather, because it's just comforting.
Yeah, it's a blanket in a cup.
It's like a blanket in a cup. So to me, that's my thing. I got my pineapple ginger tea, like no sugar. No sugar in it. And so I've been like, so I'm trying to, but I gotta have something warm. It gotta be something warm. So does that allow you, that product that you have, can you warm it? Can it be put in a warm water, or does it have to be in?
That's what I was saying. You can drink this hot or cold. I drink mine hot because I'm like you. I want my blanket in a cup.
Yeah, I like that.
It makes me feel good. It comforts me, and I enjoy it. I sip on it, and it tastes amazing.
That's important. That's important.
But the balance, you got to drink right away, and 8 to 10 ounces of cold water, because remember, it coagulates. So but yes, your tea hot. Take your time.
Well, you guys heard it from the queen herself. Make sure, again, I'm gonna put her website up there. Make sure you guys go to her website. The website is at the bottom of the screen. It'll also be on the podcast, so make sure it'll be on the YouTube channel, so you can always go back to Sisterhood Check-in podcast to reference it if you want. And I'm getting ready to add something to the website, because on the Sisterhood Check-in website, people that have like their own products and services that have been on the show, I'm gonna have a section where people can go back and look at the products and services that they have, and be able to purchase it. Because sometimes you may not be able to, not everybody watches Sisterhood
at that
Check-in.
time.
So they may go back, but I get a lot of people that go back like that on Saturday or Sunday, or whatever day they off, and they go back and look at it. So and I got quite a bit of subscribers, so it's enough time for everybody in their schedules to kind of go back and look at it. But thank you so much, Carolyn, for joining me. Yes, this is perfect.
Let's not be that New Year's resolution type of thing. Let's really take our life seriously, and make a change. You have nothing to lose. I am so grateful to have been on this podcast. It's been such an amazing time, and it really has felt like such a sisterhood. I think you're doing phenomenal things. Keep encouraging, keep being great, keep being a blessing to other women, and I will keep you in my prayers. I know that you're going to do amazing things in 2025.
Thank you. I appreciate that, and I receive that in Jesus' name. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you click like and share if you're watching on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Let's see, on all other platforms. Make sure you hit like and share if you're blessed by the content that we bring every week. And if you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe so that you can be notified, because I upload videos every day now. So make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel and help me get my viewership up, because I've got the subscribers, I've got the people. I just need people to chime in and support more with the viewership. So if you want to be a guest here on the Sisterhood Check-in podcast, make sure you go to sisterhoodcheckin.com and hit be a guest and fill out the form, and I will contact you to be on the show. If you are looking, this is something new I am going to be starting this year with the Sisterhood Check-in podcast. If you would like to be a sponsor and you like what you hear on the Sisterhood Check-in podcast and you would like to be a sponsor, make sure you go to the sisterhoodcheckin.com, or you can go to the Cash App, hashtag Sisterhood Check-in, and support, so that we can be able to get this message out to the masses, because each of us have a message. And each of us have something. There's so many voices on the social media platform, and we want to make sure that the right voices are getting heard, so that we can bring change, especially if we're in the kingdom. Thank you guys so much for watching. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, y'all have an amazing night.
Yes, thank you.
Stay safe.
Did you have any final words before I end the broadcast?
I do. I want to pray a hedge of protection over all that is listening to this podcast right now. We want to just ask that God continue to keep you and cover you and guide you. And we want to ask God to give you your heart's desire, but only if it is His will, because His will is so much better than anything we could ever ask or think of for ourselves. Be a blessing and help one another. You never know who need an encouraging word, a smile, kindness, comfort.
Absolutely. I definitely agree. Thank you so much for that. And I will see you guys on tomorrow on the next video. Make sure you follow my YouTube channel. Follow me on all the social media, at Nadira Lewis, at Nadira_Lewis, at Woman of Pride. All that good stuff is listed in the bio. And I'll see you guys next week.